Hello and welcome. My name is Ben Vlieger. Thank you for joining us for our Making E-commerce Packaging Sustainable live session here at Pack Expo Connects. Like most of you, we wish we could be face-to-face in Chicago at Pack Expo like we normally are this time of year, but unfortunately that just isn't possible this year. We'd like to take a moment just to say thank you though for all of you that are taking a few moments out of your day to join us here virtually.
Hello everyone, my name is Joe McKillop with Felins USA, and today we're going to review options that Felins offers to make e-commerce packaging more sustainable in quite a few different areas.
Joe is one of our senior regional managers here at Felins, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but you've been with the company for over 25 years.
That is correct. I started in production many years ago, transitioned into engineering and technical services, and the past 11 years I've been working as the automation and regional sales manager.
25 years, that means you started here when you were in third grade, it would seem. So today we're going to take some time and talk about e-commerce packaging.
Correct, yeah. We're going to review the three options where Felins is more sustainable with e-commerce packaging with our ATS US 2000 ultrasonic banding machines. E-commerce has been gaining a lot of momentum in the past few years, and now as we're encouraged to social distance, it's exploding in all industries.
It absolutely is. Before we get too far into it though, I just want to address a couple housekeeping items. Concurrently with Joe and I's conversation here, there is an interactive chat. We would encourage you to put comments, questions in there. We've got a fantastic team of individuals behind the camera that can interact and answer your questions and respond to your comments as we chat here today. In addition, inside that chat, you're going to see at about the 10-minute mark a link that we will post in there for a Zoom call immediately following our discussion. Unfortunately, the format of our session today doesn't allow for live Q&A, but Joe will be available via that Zoom call immediately afterwards to be able to have that type of format. And then last but not least, if for some reason you get pulled away or need to duck out before we finish up, just put contact me in that comment box and we will have Joe reach out to you in the very near future. So let's get started. Joe, how is it that Felins can help with e-commerce packaging?
So there's three options that we're going to review today, but before I get into the specifics, I want to talk about the technology that we use. We use the ATS US 2000 ultrasonic seal banding equipment. You can receive these machines fully automatic or semi-automatic, and they run a variety of substrate materials. You can run paper if you want something that's recyclable, clear material if you need a transparent material or you need to scan through the material after you're bundling, colored ribbon material if you want to add a little color to your packaging. We have pre-printed material option programs where you can send us your artwork and we can print on the banding material your logo in different colors, which is really nice for branding while you're banding. And we also offer printers that are integrated with the systems where you can print on demand, which is really nice if you're printing any barcodes for track and trace.
That's all great. Can you maybe just expand a little bit on what ultrasonic banding is, though, for members of the audience that might not be quite as familiar with it?
Sure. Most people are probably familiar with strapping. Strapping typically is good for applications where you have square products and you can unitize them together with a very narrow, strong, rigid, inexpensive material. However, you don't have much control over these systems. With the ATS US 2000, you can run a variety of shapes and sizes with one setup. And because we have the control, you can run all the variety of materials that I mentioned earlier. The materials also come in, you can get systems that are 20 millimeter wide material, all the way to 100 millimeter wide for the bandwidth.
So I hear you using the word ultrasonic a lot. Why is it that you call it ultrasonic banding?
So after we do the digital tensioning around the products, we ultrasonically seal the band to itself. We don't use adhesives and we don't use heat, which gives us more control. The ultrasonics is really nice because it's clean, it's efficient, and it's adjustable. Here's a video that's going to illustrate some of the details of the ultrasonics.
Very interesting. A picture, or I guess in this case a video, is worth 1,000 words. That really helps summarize what ultrasonic banding is. And now that we understand that, how do we apply that for e-commerce packaging?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's 3 areas that we're going to cover today. The first is going to be excessive void fill and eliminating that, and oversized box shipments. The second is going to be banding prior to Autobox systems for high volume applications. And the third is banding as a replacement of strapping where corrugated boxes get damaged.
Okay, so let's start with the first one, the elimination of void fill and oversized boxes.
Well, I think we've all seen a box in a box or excessive void fill whenever receiving a small item. Banding eliminates all this excessive waste, and our shipping mass is much smaller than the traditional method.
Yeah, that unboxing experience is becoming more and more important, right? With e-commerce, that is how customers are receiving our product. It's how they're experiencing our brand. They're not seeing it on a retail shelf like what they have historically done. So that's definitely gaining momentum.
Yes, yeah, the unboxing experience compared to traditional packaging is completely different. The product is more secure when it arrives at the consumer, and there's less shipping damage because it's more secure. There's less void fill for the consumer when they're unpacking, and it's a smaller shipping mass, so you can get more shipments on trucks or whatnot. Sure. And it's also really good for retailers and fulfillment centers because they don't need to inventory all of the excessive packaging that they traditionally use. Here's a video that's going to show the traditional packaging method compared to the banding method. You'll see the excessive waste that's going to be eliminated, and you're going to see a much smaller shipping mass.
I really like that video because it shows how much packaging mass can be reduced by just rethinking the way that we are doing our packaging. So what we learned is that banding can help eliminate packaging waste, reduce the cost that we have for the packaging materials that we're using, and also improve the unboxing experience. Now, the second area where I think you had said that the banding can help in e-commerce is in front of Autobox machines. Can you maybe expand on that just a little bit?
Sure. Prior to Autoboxing systems, which are used for high volume applications, banding is very critical. The banding will hold the product together as it's getting conveyed through the systems. At a high level, Autobox making systems, they do a 3D digital scan of all these random sized products that are going into their system. Their system's very unique in that they make a box on demand based on that 3D digital scan. Banding is critical because if the product shifts and it's larger than what it was originally scanned for, the Autobox system can jam, which results in downtime or wasted corrugate when resetting the machine. Banding is also a really good advantage because it secures the product prior to going into the box for shipment.
So the banding's role is it gets scanned at the beginning of the system, and the banding keeps it the same shape and size as it moves through a series of conveyors until it gets to the point where the box is being built around it.
Correct. Here's a video that's going to illustrate, and it shows a layout of an Autobox system with multiple banding machines along it. This is an online retailer who is banding multi-size and multi-shape products before placing the product on a central conveyor that will feed an Autobox system. There are 10 total banding machines on this layout, 5 on each side, where operators pick product and unitize them together before placing them on the conveyor. The US 2000 banding machines have one setup for all the different sizes of products when the operator places them into the machine. This is possible due to the ultrasonic sealing and digital controls on the US 2000. You can see how the bundles are being transferred from each of the in-feed conveyors and within the Autobox system. Banding is critical because typically the bundle dimensions are scanned and the box is being custom made to the scan. If the product shifts and is larger than the original dimensions, this could jam the Autobox system. The US 2000 also provides a variety of banding materials you can use, like paper, clear plastic, and ribbon. We do offer clear plastic material that you can scan barcodes through if scanning is required after banding. If you would like to band your product or your customer's product with having a repeat printed banding material like in the picture, you can do this with the standard machines and setup. All you have to do is change the roll of banding material.
Those Autobox systems are really cool. I mean, that's awesome that people have figured out how they can custom build a box to handle varying shapes and sizes without any changeover. That's really, really fascinating that they figured out how to do that. Let's circle back to the third way that you said banding can help in e-commerce packaging. And what I heard you say is that you can replace strapping on the outside of a box. So I see this done all the time, right? Where a belt and suspenders, we're putting strapping around a box to make sure that it stays closed during shipping. Why is it that banding can work better than strapping?
Well, with banding, you're going to completely eliminate all of the damage that happens to corrugate from that narrow strap while still maintaining the tension that you need and keeping the box closed. Here's a picture that's going to illustrate strapping with damage and banding without damage. As you can see, the banding prevents damage, which allows boxes to be reused for returns, which is a lot of waste. Product being shipped is not damaged upon arrival because the shipping box is not damaged during the actual shipping process. With banding, you also do not get damage on the box, which can allow for a lower grade and lower cost corrugated box.
Okay, so banding doesn't cause the same type of damage that strapping does, but as we looked at that image, the thing that struck me is just the aesthetics and the difference between the two as well. Banding is a much more elegant form of holding that box together and making sure that it's not coming open during shipment. The differences that you mentioned earlier with transparent or pre-printed band can even help bolster that experience that the customer has when the product is showing up on their doorstep. So it's really cool. And I'm noticing the clock on the wall says that it's time for us to cut this conversation short. Unfortunately, the format of our live demos require us to end this conversation right now. I just want to point out, though, that Joe is going to be hopping over onto a Zoom call. In the comments section of the chat, you should see the link. He will be there very, very shortly for a live interactive question and answer session. In addition, if you don't have time to jump over there, put contact me in the chat. Joe will be reaching out in the near future. You can also reach Joe via his virtual business card on our Pack Expo Connects page. And last but not least, feel free to check out our website, felins.com, for all sorts of great information on banding.
And I want to thank everyone for joining us today. And as Ben mentioned, please feel free and contact me with any questions. And if you have any applications that you're working on and need some product samples, just contact me and we can process those samples and send them out for your review.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.